My people, let me take you back to the year of 1849. Tens of thousands of desperate men crossed the oceans and desert to California, chasing one dream: gold. They dug deep into the earth, worked until their hands bled, hoping to strike it rich. But do you know who became the richest men during that gold rush? It was not men breaking their backs digging. It was Levi Strauss, a man who never touched a single ounce of gold, but sold jeans to the miners. Others made fortunes by selling shovels, tents, food, and tools. When the gold was gone, they were still rich. Africa today stands at the beginning of a gold rush. But this time, the gold is not buried in the ground. It is our land, our data, our young men, technology, and our ideas. And the next generation of African millionaires will not be the ones chasing the gold. They will be the ones selling the shovels. For far too long, Africa has been described as the continent of the future. But that future is no longer tomorrow. That future is now. We are living in a moment where everything is shifting. Our population is booming. Our economies are growing. Our young people are more connected and more creative than ever before. And as the world searches for new frontiers, so is Africa. But here's the truth: opportunities alone does not make you rich. The gold rush alone does not guarantee wealth. What matters is how you position yourself in that particular moment. Some will spend their lives digging for gold, chasing trends, copying others, hoping to strike lucky. But the wise, the ones who build empires, will sell their shovels. They will supply the tools, the platforms, and infrastructure that every gold digger needs. So today, I want to speak to you, my brothers and sisters, in Africa and in the diaspora, about how to think like a shovel seller and how to position yourself where the money flows to you, not where you are chasing it. And I want to show you how ordinary people across this great continent of ours have already made it, and how you can still make it too. Let's look at the gold diggers versus the shovel sellers in our African context. Let us clearly define the battlefield. A gold digger is someone who goes straight to the obvious opportunity. They see people planting maize and they also rush to plant maize too. They see someone selling water bottles and they rush to sell the same water bottles. But a shovel seller on the other hand, does not compete with the miners. They supply them. They build what the diggers need to succeed. And they make money whether or not the digger strikes gold. Let me give you African examples. In Nigeria, small business needed a way to accept payments online. Most people would have tried to build online stores, but Flutterwave and Paystack sold shovels. They built payment infrastructures that powers those stores. Today, Flutterwave is valued as 3 billion, and Paystack was acquired by Stripe for over 200 million US dollars. In South Africa, instead of opening other water brand, companies like Blue Drop focus on selling water, filtration systems, and water dispensers, tools that are used by hundreds of water sellers and clinics. The lesson is clear. When everyone is chasing the same thing, step back and ask, what do they need to succeed? That is where the real wealth hides. Let's look at the shovel that was sold in Kenya. One of the greatest shovel selling stories in African history was born in Kenya, and it is called M-Pesa. In 2007, Safaricom launched M-Pesa, a simple idea that turned ordinary phones into banks. Overnight, millions of Kenyans could send money even without stepping into a bank branch. But here's the most powerful part. M-Pesa did not just make money for itself. It created an entire ecosystem, a new gold rush around it. Companies like Tala and Branch built micro-lending apps on top of M-Pesa, rising over 200 million in global investment. AI startups built chatbots, tools that integrated with M-Pesa to help small business manage payments. Street vendors, e-commerce stores, and transport companies all flourished because they had a tool that powered their transactions. M-Pesa did not dig for gold. It sold the shovel. And that shovel changed the entire Kenya's economy. Today, Kenya is one of the most AI active nations in Africa. Platforms like Zindi Africa are connecting data with scientists with companies globally. That too is selling shovel, building the infrastructure that others use to innovate. Let's look at our land. The first and most obvious gold rush in Africa is our land and agriculture. Over 60% of the world's uncultivated arable land is here in Africa. Yet we import over 40 billion every year worth of goods. Most people will see this and rush, start farming. And that's fine. But the shovel sellers, they are the ones selling the irrigation systems, greenhouse kits. They are selling drying machines, fertilizers, logistics services. Look at Metad coffee in Ethiopia. Instead of just growing beans, they roast, blend, and export, multiplying profit fivefold. And also look at the companies that are building solar systems. They sell the tools to farmers to use, and they make money every single season. Year in, year out, they are making money. Your opportunity is not only just in digging, but to enable others to be able to dig. Sell the tools, offer land preparation, build processing plants, or provide storage and transportation. You are also in the farming business. The gold rush is food, but the shovel sellers are the ones who are owning the value chain. Africa imports about 500 billion worth of goods every year, from everything from soap, packaging, furniture, and school uniforms. And one of these imports is a hole waiting to be filled by an African entrepreneur. But the shovel sellers think deeper. They don't just make the final product. They build the supply chain. In Nigeria, Aliko Dangote did not compete with the builders. He built the cement factories that supplied every builder. In South Africa, companies supplying plastic bottles, water dispensers, and labeling services are booming because beverages and water companies depend on them. They think the product. Think about the tools, raw materials, and infrastructure that the product needs. That is where the shovel seller thrive, with steady long-term demand. Let's look at our fintech and artificial intelligence. These are the tools of digital economy. Africa's fintech market is projected to be 200 billion by 2030. And just like M-Pesa in Kenya, the biggest fortunes will not be made by those launching the payment apps, no, but by those building the infrastructure underneath them. Companies like Flutterwave, Paystack, Cheaper Cash, are providing Africa's digital economy and providing the rails everyone runs on. Artificial intelligence is another wave. Platforms like Zindi Africa supply data solutions to companies, while startup build AI tools for agriculture and education. The gold rush is artificial intelligence itself, but the shovel sellers are training data, building APIs, and creating platforms others rely on. Let's look at our water and solar infrastructure, the new essentials. Africa's population is expounding, and with it, the demand for clean water, power, and housing is growing every day. Companies like Blue Drop sell water purification systems, while others distribute solar kits to rural areas. They are not building hospitals, they are selling equipment the hospitals need. They are not opening schools, they are selling solar power to schools. This shovel selling at its finest, building the backbone on which everyone else depends on. Your opportunity is here. Water dispensers and refill stations, low-cost solar solutions, housing materials. Let's look at digital skills and content. By 2040, Africa will supply 40% of the world's workforce. That workforce, it needs skills. And that means shovel sellers will be in the high demand. Platforms like Andela and Zindi connect Africa talent with the global opportunities. They don't create apps themselves. They supply developers who do. Nigeria creators are building six-figure incomes from content, but building them are editors, thumbnail designers, caption writers, marketing strategists, even making money too. The gold rush here is the content. The shovel sellers are the ones powering the content creators. The diaspora, you have advantage. My people in the diaspora, you are not outside. You are the investors, the bridge builders, and enablers of Africa's next era of wealth. You have access to capital, networks, knowledge. Use them not to just buy land and build homes, but to supply tools. Import industrial machines. Lease them to local manufacturers. Build e-commerce platforms that connect African artisans to global markets. Launch cooperatives to fund solar farms, agro-processing plants, or AI startups. The gold rush or the gold diggers are waiting for the opportunities. But the shovel sellers create them. Yes. So, my people from wherever you are, hear me clearly. The future will not belong to those who chase what is popular. It belongs to those who build what is necessary. The miner digs for gold once. The shovel seller sells tools to every miner, every single day. In agriculture, we just don't plant. We sell irrigation systems. In fintech, don't just build apps, build platforms. In content, don't just create, power the creators. In infrastructure, don't just consume, supply the solutions. This is how wealth is created. This is how nations rise, and this is how we take back our destiny. Not as workers in someone else's system, but as builders of our own. This is not us be saying Africa is poor, because surely Africa is not poor. Africa is just unclaimed. Our wealth is not gone. It is just not untapped. And those who understand the power of the shovel will shape the next 100 years. So I say to you, The next millionaire will not dig the gold. They will sell the shovel. As always, my people, thank you so much for watching. My name is always Osajefo, the African president. Thank you for watching us and supporting our videos. Until I see you again in our next video, remember to take care of your loved ones. Bye.